And babies are a bundle of joy, but there is nothing quite as unbearable as a screaming baby. And how many parents wish that there was a faster way to calm a shrieking infant? One man says he's got the solution, and many agree. He's Dr. Harvey Karp, and his book is called The Happiest Baby on the Block. Dr. Karp, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tracy.
I've so much enjoyed chatting with you. Let's get straight to it. Tell me what the 5 S's are, and can you describe them for us?
Well, you know, every mother is ready after 9 months to have her baby, but the babies aren't ready. If you look at a baby horse, they're up and ready to run the first day they're born, but not our babies. Our babies are more like fetuses than infants, and they need some of that feeling that they had in the uterus. In the uterus, they're constantly jiggled. Imagine what it's like at an exercise class. They're constantly bundled up, and they hear a sound constantly that is louder than a vacuum cleaner. And so when they're born, suddenly the world is too still, it's too quiet. And even if you hold your baby 12 hours a day, they feel like that's, you know, a major decrease from what they had inside. So the 5 S's are a way to make the baby feel like they're back inside the uterus and turn on what I call a baby's calming reflex, which is an automatic off switch for a baby's crying. Every baby's born with it.
Swaddling?
Swaddling's the first S. So you wrap a baby, that's tight wrapping with the arms down.
And that's something that actually you and I were talking about that they teach you in the hospital, but you also make a point that it has to be done the proper way in order for it to work.
Right, the calming reflex is like the knee reflex. If you hit the knee but you're off by an inch, nothing happens. And if you do the calming reflex, if you do the 5 S's but you don't wrap well or you don't shush correctly, they don't work either. So that's why the book was written, because it isn't just a simple description. You really have to understand what you're doing and practice it a little bit. Kind of like riding a bike. The more you practice it, the better you get at it.
Can you quickly show us how that?
The wrapping is down, up, with the arms down at the side. The first wrap is down, really snug. The second wrap is up. So right away I get the arms at her side. The next wrap is down, just a tiny bit. This is what parents often make a mistake on. It's not all the way, it's a tiny bit down. And then you have this blanket, which is going to be the belt that wraps around snugly, and you pull it snug and tight and wrap it around like that.
Okay.
That's the first step.
You also talk about side or stomach position.
Right. Second S is rolling the baby to the side or even over to the stomach. Now the back is the right position for sleeping, but it's the worst position for calming a crying baby. On their backs, they feel like they're falling. So the side position is next, and then shushing, because shushing imitates that loud sound that they hear in the uterus. So you're right up at the baby's ear, shh, right close like that. And the louder they cry, the louder you shush.
Is that what you refer to as the loud white noise?
Yes, that's like the loud white noise, which feels wrong for us because you feel like you're saying, be quiet or shut up. But in fact, for a baby, that shushing means I love you. Everything's going to be fine.
What about swinging?
Now swinging is, of course, everybody knows to rock their baby, but the more intensely baby's crying, the more they have to be jiggled. It's almost like a little shiver movement. And then as they calm down, you slow it down and it's more of a swinging.
And is that the best position on the side?
Yeah, on the side or the stomach, or up on the shoulder. Parents often do it up like that.
Absolutely.
But not on the back. That's not a good position for doing it.
Okay, and sucking, the last
And the
one.
sucking, of course, is the last. That's on the breast, on a bottle, on your finger. Babies love to suck, but you do it in the order that I told you, starting with swaddling, because that one is the anchor. That's what ties it all together.
Good point. You talk about colic in your books. Is it possible to calm a colicky baby? And can you describe what colic is too?
Yes. That's one of the biggest
and that's
myths
good
of
news
all.
for a lot of parents.
You know, people read, oh, well, there's some babies, there's nothing you can do, and it isn't true. Did you know there are cultures around the world where babies don't cry longer than a minute?
I found that fascinating. And yet in our culture, you were saying, what, about 2 hours a day?
25% of babies will cry 2 hours a day. It's completely unnecessary if you know how to turn on the calming reflex. People say colic is from gas. But the truth of the matter is that with the 5 S's, you can calm most babies in a minute or less. And of course, pain wouldn't go away that fast. So it can't be gas pains that are making most babies upset.
We just have a moment left, but let's talk quickly about some parents being too concerned that they're spoiling their child by doing these 5
That's
S's.
a common concern. And of course, you can spoil an older child. But a new baby is already, even if you hold a baby 12 hours a day, you've already taken away 50% of all the holding, the rocking, the shushing that they had inside the uterus. So babies have to be weaned gently off of these 5 S's through the course of the first 3 or 4 months.
Dr. Karp, thanks so much for joining us. All this advice you've given us, and a quiet home, we hope.
Thank you. And my website, which is thehappiestbaby.com, where parents can get the book and the video, which is very helpful in learning these techniques.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.